Hi, 5th grade. Today we're going to be doing Module 1, Lesson 9, and for this lesson we are going to be adding decimals. We're going to be doing this in two different ways. We're first going to be starting with the unit form and adding decimals that way, and then we're going to be just adding decimals in the standard form that we are used to. So we're going to be trying this out today, so please make sure you have your math notebook out and you're following along with me. The first problem that we're going to be doing is 2/10 plus 6/10. And for this problem, which you're going to see a lot in your math notebook or in your Learn book for your problem set, is you're going to see a problem that's written out in unit form just like this, 2/10 plus 6/10. And then it's going to say equal, and then it's going to ask you how many tenths it's equal to. So you're again writing your answer in that unit form. And then you'll write your answer as a decimal in standard form. So make sure you're following along with this, because this will help you out with your problem set later on. So now when I am adding up 2/10 and 6/10, what I like to do is I'd like to just look at that numeral. So I have a numeral 2 here, and then I have a numeral 6 over here. And what I do in this situation is I just add those numerals. So if I have 2 and 6, I think about what is 2 and 6. And 2 plus 6 is 8. And I don't have to regroup or anything like that because my number is just 8. It's not more than 10. So my units are going to stay the same. So I'm going to be left with 8/10. So make sure you have this in your notebook, that 2/10 plus 6/10 equals 8/10. And then finally, I'm going to take this number that was in unit form, and then I'm going to rewrite it now in standard form. So if I have 8/10, I have to rewrite this as a decimal. So I am going to have my 8 in my tenths place, and then I can't just leave it like that, or that, because that wouldn't make any sense, because that just looks like 8 ones. So I make sure I put my decimal here, and I can put a 0 here in my ones, to show you that my answer is 8/10. Now we're going to try this again with this next problem. And make sure you're following along and copying this down with me. So for this problem, you'll probably see something in your books that looks something like this. So they'll have blank ones plus blank, oopsies, plus blank thousandths. And then at the very end, you'll have one last blank, and that's where you'll write your answer in standard form. So for this one, I have 2 ones, 3,000, so this is all one number, plus 6 ones and 1,000. So for this problem, I'm going to start off by adding up my ones. So I'm just going to look at the numeral that's in front of my ones. So if I have 2 ones and 6 ones here, I can underline that part if that helps me keep myself organized. So I have 2 ones plus 6 ones, so that's 2 plus 6, which gives me 8. It's not larger than 10, so I don't have to worry about regrouping. So I have 8 ones right now, but I still need to figure out my thousandths. So I'm going to take a look at my thousandths, and again, I'm going to look at that numeral that's right there. So I have 3 thousandths, and then 1,000. So 3 plus 1 will give me 4 thousandths. So right now, if I were to show my answer in unit form, I would say that it's 8 ones and 4 thousandths. But now I have to make sure that I write this in a decimal form, in standard form. So to do this, I will make sure that my 4 is in the thousands place. I'll put that back here. I don't have anything that has hundredths, so I'll put a 0. I still don't have anything that's in my tenths, so I'll put another 0. But I do have something that's in my ones place. So since I have something in my ones place, put a decimal here to show 4 thousandths. And then I'll put an 8 to show that I have 8 ones. So right now, my final answer is reading as 8.004, or 8 and 4 thousandths. Now for our very last problem, this one is asking us to do a couple of different units now. So we're going to have to figure out tenths, and then we're going to have to figure out hundredths, and we have to figure out thousandths as well. So I'll abbreviate that. And then finally, I'll have to figure out the answer for that. So what I would like you to do right now is I would like you to try and solve for this problem. So this problem, we're adding 2/10 and 5 thousandths plus 6 hundredths. So I want you to try and add these two things up and use this model to help you fill in your answers. So you should have 2/10 5 thousandths plus 6 hundredths equals blank tenths plus blank hundredths plus blank thousandths equals, and then tell me your answer in standard form. All right, so you should have paused the video, unpaused the video, and now you're ready to check your answers along with me. So if I have 2 tenths, and I'm not adding any other tenths, then all I'm left with is 2 tenths. Then over here, I have 5 thousandths, and I'm not adding any more thousandths, so this is still just 5 thousandths, and I still don't have to regroup or anything like that. And then finally, I have 6 hundredths, and I'm not adding any other hundredths, so I'll put that 6 hundredths there. So now I have 2 tenths plus 6 hundredths plus 5 thousandths. And if I were to put this all together in a number that's in standard form, I would have 0.265 or 265 thousandths. And you're going to see all kinds of problems that look just like this in your problem set, so make sure you have these notes down, and this will help you out a lot once you get to that part of your math problem set. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase this, and we're going to check out some other problems that just start with the standard form, and I'm just going to get my answer in standard form. I don't have to do anything else. So what I'm first going to start with is this problem right here. I have 1 and 8 tenths plus 1 and 3 tenths. So for this problem, I don't want to add like this. This is kind of hard for me to visualize how I'm going to add. So I'm going to stack up my numbers vertically, so up and down. And to make sure that I'm stacking these up correctly, I want to make sure that my decimal points are lined up. So I'll put a decimal point here. And I have a 3 in my tenths, so I'll make sure that number's there. And I have a 1 in my ones. So everything is lined up correctly. I have my tenths with my tenths, and my ones with my ones. And now I can add everything up. And this is probably similar to how you may have added before in the past, so this shouldn't be as difficult as the unit form we did earlier. So remember, we always start all the way to the right. So I have 8 plus 3, and this is a situation where I'll have to regroup because 8 plus 3 is 11, so I carry the 1, and I leave that other one. And then I have 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that gives me 3. But remember, my answer is not 31. That wouldn't make any sense. My answer is going to be 3 and 1/10. My decimal can just come straight down in this problem, and everything will just be nice and lined up. So again, all my tenths are lined up, my decimal is lined up, and my ones are lined up. And that gives me a final answer of 3 and 1/10. Now I'm going to line up these numbers down here for our next problem, and I want you to try and solve for this one. So we have 100 and 8 hundredths, and then we have 2 and 4 hundredths. So this is all lined up. My hundredths are lined up, my tenths, my decimal points, my ones, and then the rest of my number. So everything is lined up the way it should be. Write this down in your notes and try to solve this problem by yourself now. All right, so you should have paused the video, solved this problem, and now you're working along with me. For this problem, we're going to start all the way to the right, as always. We have 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 is 12, so I need to regroup. So I have 1 over here and a 2 down here. Then I will do 1 plus 0 plus 0, which gives me 1. I don't need to carry anything because I didn't have to regroup. My decimal point, I'll make sure I just put that in now so I don't forget about it. So that comes straight down. Finally, I have 0 plus 2, which gives me 2. 0 plus 0 will give me 0. If you ever don't see a number there, don't try to like move stuff over. Just remember that if it's an empty or blank place value, then it's just going to be 0. So 0 plus 0 will give me 0. And finally, 1 plus 0 will give me 1 for a final answer of 112 and 12 hundredths. So if you got that answer right, awesome job. If you need help, please let me know. And for our final problem, we're going to be adding up 148 thousandths plus 7 and 13 thousandths. I would like you to try and stack these up on your own and then solve these problems. All right, again, you should have paused the video and solve that problem by stacking them up on your own and then adding. And now we are going to do this together. So I have 148 thousandths plus 7 and 13 thousandths. Remember, all my place values need to be lined up. So I have my thousandths, my hundredths, my tenths, my decimals, and my ones place. I start all the way to the right, and I'll start adding up. So I have 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 gives me 11. So I'll need to regroup, carry my 1, leave my other one behind. And then I have 1 plus 4, which is 5, and 5 plus 1, which is 6. Remember, you don't have to do it like 1 plus 4 plus 1. You can mix around your numbers to help you add it a little bit easier if you need to. Then I don't have to regroup, so I'll just move on to my next place value. So I have 1 plus 0, which gives me 1. Bring down that decimal, and then I have 0 plus 7, which is 7. And I get a final answer of 7 and 161 thousandths, and that is my final answer. All right, so 5th grade, that is your final problem for this. And I am going to give you a problem to work on, and you're going to check in with me after you finish this problem. So in your notebooks, you are going to be solving these 3 problems. We have 74 hundredths plus 59 hundredths. So that will be problem 1 that you need to solve in your notebooks. Problem 2 will be 7 and 48 thousandths plus 5 and 196 thousandths. And finally, you will solve for 7 and 44 hundredths plus 774 thousandths. You will solve all 3 of these problems. Make sure that you set them up vertically so that you can solve them and then get your answers. Once you have the answers to all 3, please raise your hand so I can check your work. And then after that, you'll move on to the problem set. If you have difficulties with these problems, please let me know so I can help you out. Great job today and good luck.